The Real Mccoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real Mccoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he made Miss Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Old Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
Hi, Florrie. Did you have a good time at the sewing circle?
Oh, I haven't been to the sewing circle, Amos. I've been to the movies with Howard. Boys, I want you to meet Howard Anderson, a very dear friend of mine from Idaho. Howard, this is Luke McCoy.
Glad to know you.
Peppino. And Amos McCoy.
Glad to know you, McCoy.
You two was acquainted up in Idaho, was you?
Acquainted? Well, I'd say it was a little more than that. You know, Flora and I were childhood sweethearts.
Oh, puppy dove, huh?
We went together until I was 25. Howard, I'm afraid we're breaking up the boys' game. Why don't we go out and sit on the porch swing?
Oh, that sounds fine to me. I'm sorry we're interrupting.
You ain't interrupted. Why don't you come in the game? Here, take my place.
No, thanks. I didn't come all the way from Idaho to play poker. You know what I mean, Pop?
Well, let's get the game going, huh? Sit down, will you? Pop.
Say, George, you gonna leave your sister sit out there in the dark with a stranger?
Why, Howard ain't no stranger, Amos. Why, back in Idaho, he was as close to us as you are. He sure carried on when we left. I think he still is bad for Flora. Never did marry. Says he's down here in a business trip, but, I ain't so sure. Well, that's her affair. Let's play cards, huh?
What's that?
The porch swing. Needs oiling.
It's your bet, Grandpa.
I passed.
You ain't even looked at your cards yet.
I'll bet a red.
All right, how many? Amos, how many cards?
Hey, listen. Hear that? He's squeaking.
Maybe they ain't swinging.
You're holding up the game, Amos.
But I don't like the idea of her being out there in the dark with him.
Well, it's no dark, Senor Grandpa. It's a beautiful moonlight night.
Well, Grandpa, what are you so upset about? After all, Florrie's just another woman. Like you always say, love 'em and leave 'em.
But you gotta be careful who you leave him with. I hope you're looking for that squeak.
Why, Amos, you're supposed to be playing cards.
Well, I had a good hand. I thought maybe Howie would change his mind and go and take my place. There's a winner. Go in and whip him good. Use my chips. Go ahead.
I'm out to win a lot more than a poker game. In fact, you might as well know. I've just asked Flora to do me the honor of becoming my wife.
Wife?
He kind of overwhelmed me, too.
Say, it's kind of sudden, ain't it? You ain't seen her for years.
Well, it's always been in my heart.
Oh, Howard.
Do you mind if we take a walk? We have so much to talk about.
Evening, George.
Okay.
Hello. Howdy, George.
Hi, Amos. I just drove Howard to the railroad station, so I thought I'd just drop by.
Howard left town, has he?
Yep, said he'd get right back to Idaho.
Oh, he left alone then.
Yep, that's right.
Well, then I reckon that he and Flora ain't going to get married after all, huh?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. No, the way it stands, Flora asked for a few more days to think it over. Said she'd write him and give him her answer.
Well, George, what do you think your answer's going to be?
Well, now, that's hard to say. You see, Howard's the first one that ever asked her. And you know how a woman is. when nobody else has ever asked her, and somebody finally comes along and asks her, like as not, she'll say yes to the somebody who asked her, especially when somebody else hasn't asked her. Well, anyway, it's up to her. Amos, how about tearing off a game of checkers, huh?
Well, I'd like to, George, but I gotta run from me an errand.
Grandpa, where are you going?
Well, I gotta run over to Florrie's place. I just noticed here, it's a button off my sweater. Must have lost it over your place, George. Ain't been no place else. You know, if you don't chase a button when you first lose it, sometimes you never catch it eight.
What do you know?
He's finally going to do it.
By golly, but don't look like I'm going to get the brother-in-law I want after all. Not that Howard's a bad fella, but when it comes to checkers, he's a washout.
Grandpa and Flora getting married. Ain't that the most romantic thing ever? Say, you don't think that Florrie might prefer Howard to Grandpa, do you? Well, they'd just about break Grandpa's heart.
Are you kidding? Why? When Grandpa gets through sweet-talking that gal, poor old Howard won't have a chance. Well, honey, you know yourself how sly us Mccoys is when it comes to women. Look how easy I got you to marry me.
Easy? Why, Luke, you could hardly get the words out. I finally had to do the asking myself.
Well, that's what I mean, sugar. I didn't have to do none of the work.
George, it's true. Come on, we'll get the checking board out. I'll take you up.
Why, Amos.
Howdy, Florrie. You mind if I come in?
Well, Amos, of course not. Come in.
Florrie, you look so pretty standing there under that kitchen bulb. I'm sorry, Florrie. I ain't got no right to talk to you like that no more.
Why not?
Well, you're starting a whole new life, and there ain't no place in it for me.
Oh, Amos.
Don't you know, Florrie, we got to learn to forget each other and all the wonderful times we had together? Like the Grange picnic we went on. How we snuck away from all the others and went down the hall under the elm tree and at that box lunch you put up with your own two hands.
Yes, I remember.
You know, I don't think I'll ever be able to look at a fried chicken leg again without thinking of you.
Amos, how sweet.
And then there was that time we won the old-timers waltz contest at the Fiddler's Rest. Remember what the Clarion said? Florrie McMichael and Amos McCoy was poetry in motion. I still sleep with it clipping under my pillow.
Oh, I know. I keep mine in my sachet box.
Well, you better get it out of your sachet box and burn it. Burn it with all the rest of you.
But I don't want to burn my memories.
Florrie, you got to learn to forget, just like I'm going to try to forget Saturday night at the Harvest Ball.
The Harvest Ball?
I was figuring on asking the Woodard Davis.
That scrawny thing?
Yes, I know, Florrie. It's like dancing with a bundle of dried sticks. I've got a new life to start, too. I've got to start with someone.
But I haven't given my answer to Howard yet.
You ain't?
I promised I'd write him my answer, and that's what I'm going to do now, tonight. And, Amos, you've made up my mind for me. The answer's going to be no.
You know what you're doing, you're sure, Florrie?
Yes, Amos, I'm sure.
Will you write that letter? Now, I'll come back tomorrow night, and we can talk over our plans for the future.
Our plans?
Oh, Florrie, I have some wonderful plans for me and you.
Oh, Amos.
Good night, Florrie.
Good night, Amos.
Well, howdy, Kate, fellas.
Did you find the button?
Button? What button? Oh, the button. Oh, I keep in my pocket all the time. But I had a nice chat with Florrie. I get some big news for you. Get all set now. Florrie ain't marrying Howard.
You don't say.
I do say, and things is back on the even keel again. We're going to Harvest Ball just like we was before. Don't imagine there'll be much dancing, though. We're going to be setting out, making plans for the future.
Well, Grandpa, could you sort of let us in on some of them plans? For instance, when's the wedding date?
Wedding date? Who said anything about a wedding date?
When you and Flora get married, you darn fool.
Get married? I don't want to get married.
You mean to say that you talked Florrie out of marrying Howard Anderson with no intention of marrying her yourself?
My intentions never come up for discussion. Hey, things are just like they was before.
What about them plans you said you was making?
Well, I am making plans for the Harvest Ball and the Mystic Nile Picnic a week from Wednesday and the Peach Festival.
So, that's what you call wonderful plans, huh?
Well, ain't you glad me and Florrie's back together again, having a good time?
A good time. That's all you think about. Did you ever think my poor little sister, how she'll feel when she finds out you have no intention of asking for her hand? Even though you talked her out of marrying the one man that did ask her. Maybe the only man that ever will ask her. Amos McCoy, you were worse than any skunk that ever lived. And I've had a mistake.
Grandpa, you've done some terrible things sometimes, but this is the worst.
Grandpa, you've toyed with a woman's affections, and that's hard to forgive. We're all ashamed of you.
But, Luke, Kate...
Señor Grandpa, parece mentira que usted trate de tapar a una señora que lo ha tratado tan bien.
What does that mean? Sometimes I wish it wasn't cursed with the McCoy charm. Morning, George.
Oh, morning, George.
Will you return that to your grandpa and tell him it's in just as good condition as when I borrowed it? Also, I had tallied up our checker score. And as of the last game, I owe him 45 cents. You'll see he gets it, will you?
There ain't no sense in paying it now, George. You'll probably win it back in the next game. We're going to keep on playing, ain't we?
George, have you had a talk with Florrie yet?
Oh, no, that's his dirty work. Let him do it.
Well, I was just thinking that maybe you should say something. Maybe she hasn't sent that letter yet to Howard. She has.
The poor thing gets so excited over this skunk's sweet talk, she drove straight into town last night and mailed it special. No, she's burned that bridge behind her. Now she's heading for a washout. See you later, Kate.
Morning, Peppina.
Morning, sir.
Sir? Sir? You cut out being so gall-darn polite to me. You call me Senior Grandpa like you always do.
Oh, very well, Señor Grandpa. Sir.
Now, Clara, you listen to me. You're a woman of the world. What do you think about this? When a fella gets along fine with a woman, there ain't no need for marriage, is there? Females all stick together anyways. Always has and always will be, I suppose.
Who are you talking to, Grandpa?
Oh, I wasn't talking to nobody, little Luke. Appears to me nobody wants to talk to me much around here lately.
Well, I do. I think you're right. I'm going to be just like you when I grow up.
What do you mean you're going to be just like me?
Love him or leave him.
What?
You got to think of yourself first. I'm going to be tough like you.
Like you.
Grandpa?
No, I ain't going to let you, little Luke. But we got to have a little talk, get things straightened out around here. I ain't tough. If the truth is known, I'm a coward.
You a coward?
You see, I'm afraid to do what's right. I don't want to lose Florrie. And then again, I don't want to give up nothing to hold her.
Well, how come you have to give up anything?
Well, you can't go through life just a taking and a taking. You got to give a little something, too. Don't you forget it.
All right, Grandpa. But you got me a little mixed up. You say one thing and do another.
Boy, you hit the nail right on the head. Yes, Sid. For an old poker player, I'm sure forgetting the rules. Either put in your money or throw in your cards. Well, I'm too deep in this to back out now, so I guess I'll just have to go the limit. Seeing as how you're my closest kin, it's only right and fitting that you know first what I'm about to do. On this 18th day of April, year of our Lord, I, Amos McCoy, being of sound mind and body, am going to the home of Flora McMichael and give myself up. I mean, offer my hand in holy matrimony.
Really?
Grandpa!
You're just as shocked as I am.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Congratulations, Grandpa!
Well, it was the right thing to do.
Oh, it sure is, Grandpa. Grandpa, I'll press your suit for you.
And I'll wash and iron your shirt.
Hey, I'll loan you my best red tie.
And I'll shine your shoes.
And I'll get a flower for your lapel.
Gee whiz, I feel like I was being laid out.
Just look at him, everybody. He has that noble look of a man that's doing the right thing.
It's just like in a movie I seen the other day, where Gregory Peck comes back to Audrey Hepburn.
She's seen one movie and she knows all about life. Honest, Grandpa, you look wonderful. How you feel?
Like a rope calf in branding time.
Grandpa, you're going to make Florrie real happy.
Well, at least one of us will be.
Brother-in-law. Look and Kate phoned me the good news. I'm proud to have you in the family.
But I ain't in the family. You know, after the proposal, there's got to be an engagement period, you know?
Oh, well, Grandpa, you don't believe in long engagements, do you?
No, just long enough to be respectable.
Oh, well, we was all kind of figuring on a June wedding.
Oh, June, that's no good. June's a bad month.
Why?
It ain't got no R in it.
Well, that's hogwash.
It ain't hogwash neither. If it ain't good for clams, it sure ain't good for me.
Grandpa, we'll talk about that later. Right now, you got some proposing to do.
Yeah, that's right, Amos. And I come over here so you and Flora could be alone. Got everything fixed up nice and romantic for you. I stuck some incense in the coffee pot.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, let's don't waste no more time, Grandpa. Get on your way now. Go on.
Wait. Forgot to say goodbye. Bye, Luke. Gee. Ashley. Little Luke. Peppina. Goodbye, George. Goodbye, Florrie. Florrie! What are you doing here?
Why, I had to get out of my house. There's the most awful smell in the kitchen. So I thought I'd do my knitting over here with Kate.
Well, now, ain't that a pity? You know, I was just headed over to your place, but now that you're here, that sort of changes things.
Oh, no, it don't, Grandpa. What you've got to say, you can say right here. Florrie, Grandpa's got something he wants to tell you. Go ahead, tell her, Grandpa.
I can't tell her here. This ain't no gall-darn convention speech.
Well, of course, Grandpa's right. Look, why don't you two go out on the porch where you can be alone, huh? Now, Grandpa, just be the two of you out there all by yourselves. Go ahead, Grandpa.
Amos, what was it you had to say?
You sit yourself down, Florrie.
Well? Amos, did your ankle give out?
No, I'm down here for a reason. Florrie.
Yes, Amos.
Take me.
Take you? What for?
For better or for worse, I'm yours. Don't you understand, woman? I'm giving you what you want. Me. I'm saying I'll marry you.
Is this a proposal?
Well, what do you think it is, the Gettysburg Address? Of course it's a proposal. Hurry up and say yes.
Amos, I'm flattered. More than that, I'm honored.
Well, hurry up. I'm getting a crick in my leg.
Ever since last night, I had a feeling you were going to ask me, and I've been trying to think of the right words to say how deeply touched I am. But I'm afraid the answer has to be no.
Well, it took you long enough to say no.
That's right.
Well, maybe you didn't hear me, Florrie. I'm offering to marry you.
I heard you, but I have to give you the same answer I gave Howard. Amos, I'm not ready for marriage. It's a very important step to take, and I don't want to be rushed into anything. A girl has to be sure.
Well, I thought you was anxious to get married.
Well, hasn't it been nice with things the way they are? Can't we just go on being good friends?
I guess we could. It's gonna be hard, though. Awful hard. Now that I poured my heart out to you and you turned me down. It ain't easy for a man to see his hopes and dreams smashed to bits.
Oh, Amos, if it means that much to you, maybe I'd better reconsider.
No. Nothing to be sorry for. It's like he says, a girl's got to be sure. I'll make the sacrifice and stand by and wait for you.
Then everything will be the way it was. Friends?
Friends. And you are the witnesses. Come on, Florrie, let's take a walk.